Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to another session of Sister Story. It is your girl, Renee, and the sisters are here too. Listen, tonight we are talking about fashion and the church, being fit in fashion in the church. So I'm going to be right back after this little quick message, and you all be ready to join this conversation. Make sure you like, comment, and share because this is going to be a really, really great session. So we'll see you in a sec. Well, hey, sisters.
Hello.
How y'all doing? How y'all doing?
Hello. Doing good. How are you
Yes.
all?
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Listen, tonight I wanted it to be a fun night. And I mean, we have a lot of fun in our conversations anyway. It just kind of comes up and out. But tonight I wanted to talk about there were some things. Hey, Latanya Prophet, good to see you, honey. First one on tonight. Thank you for joining us. Um, Tonight I wanted to talk about as you all are fashionable women and you love God and we know about being modest in the church, but there's a conversation that happened some time ago actually, and it happened some time ago, but I came across it and I was like, this would be an interesting conversation. We like to stay away from certain conversations and topics, but I just thought it would be fun because our audience knows us, right? And we respect our audience and we believe they respect us and our opinions. But I thought this would be a great conversation tonight, talking about fashion in the church. So my first question to everyone is, how far is too far when it comes to fashion in the church? Now, I will reference this one thing. When Erica Campbell came out with her, I think it was her very first single, and she was in that all white dress, and
Mhm.
I thought she looked stunningly beautiful. And but I do know that some people had a problem with it. And I think she
Yeah.
even had an interview with some people and addressed it. But I thought she looked stunningly beautiful. So just know that we're talking about bodycon style dresses, and because I've worn bodycon dresses, and y'all may have too. So hey, Karen, how are you? So I just kind of wanted to get y'all's take on it. So the first question is, the overarching question is, how far is too far, Ro? Professor,
Ooh.
how far is too far?
Well, I think it's so difficult, or I wouldn't say difficult, I would say challenging today
Mhm.
because there are so many. Fashion is such a big thing in the church,
Yeah.
especially those who preach the gospel. If you're up for anything, it's just like, fashion is just it. You have to be a certain way, look a certain way, and so forth and so on. I don't think we should be influenced by that because I do think that you have um, everybody has their own way of things they like and things they do not like. But I
Mhm.
will say that you need a friend. And you need a friend to be able to say, this is good, this is not good, you should or should not do. And sometimes I do look out on social media and I think that I don't know if they have friends. I don't know if they have friends because I don't know if my friend will let me, do that. But the thing is, it's all about opinion, right? It's all about the opinion and what you like versus what somebody else like. I think modesty is everything, and I don't care what we do. I think women should not lose their modesty. I think there is a certain way that a woman should be graced, a certain way a woman should carry herself, a certain way that she should look while out as she is out before the people in church. And you should always check yourself too. If you questioned it, maybe you shouldn't. That may not be something for the church. I sing on the praise team once a month. And even on that once a month, I'm making sure what I have on is presentable because I'm on the screen and people may live stream and go back and look at our services, and I want to make sure that what I have on is presentable. So how far is too far? I would say you really, if you question it, that may be a little bit too much. There are some things we don't need to see your, what is it, your curves and your thighs. I don't want to see it either. Save that for a birthday party or something. But some things are just not meant. I still think that some things are not meant for the church. And sometimes people just don't know. They may not have been brought up in the church, and that's another thing that you have to take into consideration. They may not have been brought up like I have been brought up, and most of us have been brought up, and we know what to do.
Yes.
So I just think that you have to have some friends to say, girl, sis,
I like their response. You gotta have some friends.
have some friends. Yeah.
Okay, Misha, what you think, honey?
I'm with Ro on that. If you got to question it, because um, I think that also, like Rose said, some people just weren't brought up. They just don't know. And when you know better, you do better. Um, but I also feel that people have different styles, different ways of wanting to express themselves. But if you're living from the inside out, I feel like it should be a representation of your spiritual attitude, of your character, of your morals and your values. And that's going to exude when you go out and you wear clothes. You're going to represent who you are within. And I think that's where the modesty also comes in at. I think that's a virtue. And, that's that's a character and a virtue that should come with growth, and come with maturity. So how far is too far? I feel like the Holy Spirit will, I feel like he does convict us, like there's been times when I've been like, nah, girl, it's too short, or showing too much, or if I got to do this and pull something in. So, like she said, it's between you and God, but also, like she said, you do need some friends if you don't know no better. You need somebody that can tell you, hey, girl, dial it back a little bit.
I like that. I like the way you said, it should be a reflection from the inside. Your outside should be a reflection
Yeah.
of your inside. And I really
Mhm.
like that. What about you, Lady E and then Tori?
Well, you deal with so many different personalities and everything. So I totally agree with Miss Tamisha and with Ro, because it's a reflection of who we are. So if you're getting ready to, so you have a ticket and you have to go to court, there's a certain way you have to dress going to court. Certain things you can and cannot wear. It depends when you're going to an occasion and there's a particular dress. It's a theme party or something. We dress according to, but I also believe that is a time and place for everything. And it's kind of fun. I think the ones of us who have been in the church or been born again for a long time should know a little more, or, be more thoughtful of that and be an example to the ones that are new, because it's easy for someone to come in and get offended by little things, and you don't want to turn people off because of something as small as outfit. You want them to know that they're welcome and they're not being judged and criticized for who they are, but we accept them as they are. And if they want to learn more, when we get closer to God, and when Tamisha was mentioning the Holy Spirit on the inside of us, we get more Jesus. We want to look the way He wants us to look. And the Word of God tells us, dress modestly and all of that. And there is a way to be modest and fashionable. We can be modest and fashionable at the same time. And I think it's up to us to be good examples, to help them to know we don't come to church. We're not trying to attract a guy. or guy's trying to attract a girl. We're trying to be an attractive person to represent Christ, his worship, his love, who he is. But no matter what, everywhere we go, we represent ourselves. Where we come from, we represent God no matter what. So if it's a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or Saturday, we still represent him. And I see some people, that's like a burden to them, why I gotta represent, why I gotta do this or that. But it's not a question or a choice. It just is. And it's a hard thing. Even athletes will tell you, I don't want to be your mentor. I don't want to be a role model. But if you wake up in the morning and you do anything, somebody's watching. And so we want to represent Christ the best that we can. And, the rest of us try not to be critical as others are growing and going through their process of learning how to be and building their relationship with God the way they want it to be. That's all.
Yeah. I can appreciate this conversation. I love it. Renee, I was sitting here, it's like everything everyone said is great. And I was like, what do you say? I mean, there's an outfit for every place. There's a time and a place for everything. And there's an outfit for every time and place. Oftentimes we get so tunnel vision on what we see visually, and we feel like it's okay. And like everyone else said, you really have to be in tune with yourself. Have some great friends, but sometimes we have to hopeful we have friends that are giving or saying things in a way that is sweet, for us to receive it in order to help us, because sometimes something can come off wrong and it becomes offensive, to say that I can't, I'm not dressing appropriate. How far is too far? That's a loaded question, because it really is what you see. I see now, even in my own church, I mean, come as you are. You have some from, all the way up to the big old hats, to all the way when you see someone, they may have went to brunch the other day and they chose the outfit to come back. It was a cute outfit and they decided to wear it. So it's all of these levels. I will say it's just that love just have to continue to stay in our hearts, and hopefully that at some point we're saying God touched their hearts to see themselves, to love themselves, as Tamisha said, inside out, so they can see, when you're coming in, my dress is not a distraction for others, but not a distraction for me as I am worshiping or gaining knowledge, in my walk with Christ.
Do y'all remember that, there was a time when women couldn't, first of all, even get in the pulpit, not in the big pulpit. They would stand at another thing, or they put a podium on the side for women, right? And then women wearing pants in the pulpit.
Mm-hmm.
Those that, and so those that are, actually speaking and delivering the message. And I remember a time that was like a huge no back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
In the era we, kind of grew up, the church, church rules, if you will. you know and so I thought it was very liberating, honestly, for, because now I will tell y'all, my mama didn't, we could wear pants, but when me and Karen had went out for the majorette team, and we actually made it, but mama said we couldn't do it because we weren't wearing them little short skirts. She's like, y'all ain't wearing them little short skirts showing everything.
Oh, that's funny.
And I vowed that day that if I ever had a daughter, if she wanted to be a majorette cheerleader, whatever, I actually encouraged Jasmine to, do all these things. And I said, I'm gonna let her do it, because I just didn't see anything wrong with it, And she said, if you flip over, they can see your panties if you cheerlead. And so it was just so funny. It was hilarious. But I know that our generation is a little different, but I remember personally, I'm just gonna talk about me because I can't talk about nobody else. But there was a women's conference, I, I think it was a convention or something, and I had to sing, and it was up in Chattanooga or Knoxville, I can't remember. But anyway, I took only one white outfit, and I didn't know that the skirt was gonna fit like that because I'd worn the skirt months before, but I hadn't worn it again. Child, I was like, I ain't got nothing else to put on, and I got to wear white. I couldn't even sing the way I wanted to sing because I was like, the saints are judging me and my booty right now. So I said the saints judging me. I can feel them judging
You
me,
can
but I
feel it.
yes. And we had got there just in time to, because I didn't check in. I didn't. I checked in right before service because I had to work that day and drive, and to work a little bit and drive. That's a long distance, so I got there in time to get ready and go straight to the church. And child, I didn't bring no other church outfit because I knew I was gonna be there for one night. And baby, I said, bro, I know they was judging me, bro. They didn't receive.
They probably judging.
They didn't receive none of that good singing that night. And Mish, I don't even think I could do my good singing because I felt so convicted. I was like, when did it get this tight? Like I didn't know I gained, weight like that in a couple of
Mhm.
months that was gonna fit like this. I felt so embarrassed. And then there was this other time I wore a green dress, which was really cute, but it had like a small V in the back. Baby, I knew when that missionary got up and said something. I said, she is talking about me. Like, some stuff women, and
Yeah.
anyway, and then the pastor got up and addressed something too about it. But it was just then I remember another time when this young lady got up and sang and her, her panty lines were showing, and
Mm.
it was, and I felt so sad for her, but because I knew how it felt, because I was like, I know the
Mhm.
saints judging her, because I'm like, baby, I wish I'd, because anyway, she was just called up to sing out the blue. And she had on a sweater dress. Y'all know how the sweater dresses just fit y'all, right, sisters? Y'all know out there.
Mhm.
Y'all know. And I'm sure y'all done had some embarrassing moments too. So don't even
Yeah.
don't even trip on me. But
Yeah.
I'm just being
Yeah.
real with you. And then there was this time I had a quick weave and it had worn out. And I took it off, but I said, "Oh, it stayed together." So I had to go sing somewhere. And child, I just called myself pinning it, Erica. Erica would have killed me because she's a
Ooh, you
she's a
better stay
feeling that they clingy. But honey, and then one of the missionaries, she was so sweet. When I came down, she said, you might want to pull it down. She came over and told me pull it down a little bit. I took them to fix it and pin it down. So,
Ooh, that is hilarious.
but anyway, so that's why I'm having this conversation because I've had my moments,
Yeah.
all this happened like in my early 40s, you know,
Mm.
early 40s. But I think we have to talk about foundation, and your foundation has
Mhm.
to be right, and watching
Mhm.
out for panty lines and all that kind of stuff to grab attention. Because now, I mean, I'm not saying that every woman that does that's what they're doing, but everybody wants to look good. Everybody wants to
Mhm.
look good and feel good in their skin and in their clothes.
Mhm.
And um and sometimes people will listen and sometimes they don't. And
Mhm.
yeah. Yes,
Yeah.
Cece, that's what happened.
I I think that that's so funny you say that. And I have a story to tell that just happened to me recently, maybe about 2 Sundays ago. But before I say that, I think that when you have these experiences, you learn by experience, right? You know when you have these types of experiences, then okay, well, next time I know to do this, that, and the other. But then there is always a way that we can help people who don't know. We just have to be loving enough and concerned about that person in order to give them that wise wisdom and say, hey, I know, I have your undergarments. This is what you should do. Now, my mother told me that. But some people don't know because maybe their mothers didn't teach them and they haven't had any lessons learned. So therefore, they don't know how to wear white. Number one, if you wear white, how to wear it, what you should put on under there. And then they don't know, to make sure how to check yourself. If you have your undergarments on and your Spanx or whatever, how to be able to check yourself to make sure that, I need to reach my arms up, and if I turn around in the mirror and I can see my Spanx, I'm the wrong ones. They too long. I need to come around. I need to put on, change them. Or I need to put on, if I can't lift my hands up this with God and I'm like, okay, I'm not looking right. I need to change, put on a longer skirt, put on some pants or do something. But that just comes from my teaching, but everybody doesn't have that. So I think that, as the younger generation are coming up, I think there is a way to be able to show them certain things in love. Okay. Now, let me tell you what happened to me a couple of weeks ago. And if the first lady could, I forgot to tell the first lady what happened to me. So she may be listening tonight. I don't know. She may watch the replay. So I had to go speak at this church about 2 weeks ago. And my BFF was the MC and I was the speaker. It was a Women's Day. And so, we had having a good time, and I'm getting up. Yeah, I'm getting ready to get up. And, my BFF introduced me. I get up, got my laptop in my hand. I make 2 steps and my pantyhose are rolling down. And I said, I didn't know what to do. So I turned around and my BFF was looking at me like, what are you doing? And I told her, I said, my pantyhose are coming down. And she at my ear, she said, you lying. You lying. And I said, I'm not lying. I said, they're coming down. She said, do you need to go to the bathroom? I said, I'm not going to make it because it's out there. I'm not going to make it. I said, I'm going to have to go out through this door. And I said, I'm going to give this mic to you and you do what you do until I get back. And she said, okay. So I mean, she fireballed it. She had it going, giving it or exhorting God, and the people were praising. I went. I said, "Can I go out this side door?" And they said, "Well, you can't go outside, but you can there. You can go out, but there's no outside entry." I said, "That's all I need." So I went out there, y'all. I pulled them things up all the way up to here. I mean, I pulled them up as high as I could, and I said, Lord, you're gonna have to hold these pantyhose until I get finished. So you can only imagine how the enemy was saying, your pantyhose gonna roll down. They're gonna roll down again. I was so embarrassed. But I just walked, you know what I did? I just walked on out like nothing ever happened. And they didn't know what they didn't know. And they probably may know now. They know now. But they didn't know what had happened. And boy, we got finished, when I got finished, my best friend and I got in that car, and y'all, we laughed. We said, girl, we always got one for the book. I say, well, this one is one for the book. So what did I learn from that? I'm going to tell you what I learned. I learned that, see, some church, everywhere I go, I normally put on pantyhose. Okay. If I have a dress on, because I don't know what their protocol is. But this particular time, I was in a hurry and I should have put my pantyhose under my Spanx. But this time I was in such a hurry because we had a fish fry at church. And then I had to rush home and shower and do all that because I had to sing that Sunday and I was hot. So I had to rush home and get ready for the 3 o'clock service. So in my mind, I wasn't even focused on what, the process of how I'm putting on my clothes. And then when I felt it, I said, I did put those pantyhose on over my Spanx. So, but I learned, lesson learned. Here I am, almost 50. And I learned, girl, you ever do that again. But I know now. So that's my experience that I know not to do that. Because y'all, if I would have been up there jumping and walking and them pantyhose rolled down, I don't know what I would have done. I just don't know. I probably would have scooted on out there to the back and said, excuse me. I don't know what I would have done. I don't know.
I would say, y'all, please forgive me, but my pantyhose is falling. I'll be right back.
That would be something I would do. I would just have to say, excuse me, I'm so sorry. I hate to do this, you
I'm
all,
having
but
wardrobe malfunction.
Yeah, yeah. Wardrobe malfunction, exactly.
Ah,
So it's still a lesson. It's still a lesson learned. We learn lessons all the time.
we do.
So that's my experience. That's my fun.
Well, you
So
know,
go ahead, Eric.
I was singing choirs all the time, and we had to sing in New Orleans. And we went to a church. I want to say it was Paul Morton Church, but it was a church near his, or it was his. But it got hot. We were doing a concert, and the air conditioner wasn't working or something. And that was back in the day before I ever got married, way back. And
Mhm.
it was getting so hot. But you know, one thing about a church choir or a community choir, it don't matter if it's hot as Haiti, we gonna shout. We
Mhm.
go praise the Lord. We go give him everything we got. Oh, and it was getting hotter, but we just couldn't hold it. You know, here we go, everybody shouting, dancing everywhere. And I'm not a dancer, but I will jump for Jesus. I'm just a jumping and looked up when it was over. My sister, now she don't tell me, she didn't tell me during it. She waited until everything was over. Then she wanted to tap me on the shoulder. You dropped something. I'm like, what? That was back in the day. We used to have BTU, Baptist Training Union, and they taught us how to wear your slip. And that slip in it.
Ah,
Woo! I had a white slip and it was on the floor in the choir stand. I was so embarrassed.
wow,
Somebody didn't
wow.
put it in their purse so they could take it out.
Yeah,
Woo!
I know about that part. Put it in your
Yeah.
purse. I know about that.
Woo! It was so funny.
Yes.
Listen,
Wow.
we got
Hilarious.
we got Supervisor Shirley Perpina, my
Hey,
baby,
Superman.
my friend and my baby's godmommy. Listen, we need
Oh,
to have Mother Shirley Pepino on here to teach us now. You talking
we
fashion.
do. There
She
you go. There you
she
go.
is grace, the epitome of grace and fashion and modesty.
Absolutely.
I've never seen her like she has it. And so hello, Supervisor Pepina.
Yeah.
So glad to have you on. Karen said slips took me back. Sarah said I would have been so embarrassed. Yeah, I've had slips fall too. Now this is a good question. So my next question is a good question, but how many of y'all tell us in the comments, Book, you can't talk about it because you're a dude now. But how many of y'all still wear slips regardless of the dress? And if it's thicker, do y'all still wear slips?
I do. I still will put mine on.
Yeah,
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 I think it's I still will layer my clothes, my undergarments. I still do.
yeah.
Whether it's a
I
half
know.
slip, it may not be a full slip, maybe a half
Yeah,
slip, but I still do just because of probably paranoia
yeah.
and like the
Mm-hmm.
end of the light, even though you may think you get you sometimes when that sun hit a certain way, just making sure. I would rather be safe
Yeah.
and knowing that I have myself covered, from my legs up, my legs down rather, than anything else. So absolutely.
Shirley,
I do. That's just me.
Shirley said, keep up with your belongings. Thank you, Shirley.
Absolutely.
But one of my friends, one of my dear friends, she still does too, like regardless. And the older I've gotten, I feel like it's necessary that you. Now that's just me. I'm becoming that way. Who is this, Elder Chandra? Hello, 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 Elder
Look what
Walker. How you?
Cece said.
Let me see what CC
You see
says.
what
You still wear half sleeves?
Oh, Cece, you got me.
she
Oh,
said?
Cece, yes.
Listen,
I,
I no, no.
pantyhose.
I,
Ooh.
I, I think Supervisor Papina would tell y'all we do need to start wearing our uh, pantyhose and stockings again.
I see it. I see it a lot. I do see it a lot.
I mean,
Pantyhose and stuff.
it does add a certain level of,
I mean,
I
yeah.
don't know. To me, it does anyway.
It makes your clothes look like you paid a little bit more for them. Because
Yeah,
like you got a lining in them,
Yeah.
Cece said ever. She ain't gonna ever do it again.
Yeah.
I don't know about
Yeah.
now I may wear tights in the wintertime. I may do
Yes.
tights, but I don't know. It's just where I'm at right now, and my personal summers hit, baby, and y'all be like, oh, that would be the first thing. Some certain foundations will be the first to go. I
Yeah.
don't wear a slip, but I will wear like I have darker,
So
the
true.
like the Spanx. They come in like for your dresses where
Mhm.
you wear it's like a dress or straight. I will wear
Mhm.
those. Now I never leave home without foundation. It's
Mhm.
just that's just where I am. But them pantyhose will get to you, and before you know it, I'll be in the bathroom and they be in my purse. Good thing I keep shea butter on my legs.
Yeah, yeah, I would agree about the
So,
pantyhose too.
It depends on where I'm going. Like if where I'm going, like my church, I could wear, a skirt or a dress and I don't have to put on pantyhose, but it depends on whose church I'm going to.
yeah,
If majority of the time if I'm going to a Kojic church, I always have on pantyhose almost every time.
yeah,
That just may be because I know just being at a level of respect. But if I'm speaking somewhere and I have a dress on, I'm always wearing pantyhose wherever I speak because I just don't know and I just want to be in order. I'll feel better with my pantyhose. But like in my church, I don't wear pantyhose all the time, So I think it just depends on for me, where you're going to.
Now, if I'm speaking somewhere at another church, I'm gonna try to wear something long enough where I may not have to wear pennies.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, yeah.
They don't see that ankle ball, the ball on my ankle, and so yeah. Now, Tamisha's been really quiet. Now, Tamisha, you got to tell us. Now, I love what Elder Walker said right quick, but she said she still wear half and whole stuffs because, and this is true. Sometimes you can buy dresses, and that material just you got to wear something under it, you know. And
Mm-hmm.
you do
It's
need a
true.
good friend to tell you that the 2 3 hour tape. Yeah, those are lifesavers. They are. Yeah, yeah. That's so cool. Wait a minute. Let's see what
Cece.
Caesar said. Ro, you making a bad coaching first lady.
Don't let me make you feel bad, CC. You can't. You doing you. You're doing good.
Just,
You're doing
just wear
good.
long dresses, CC. Wear long dresses, baby.
A dress will drag the floor.
Oh,
Listen,
she's saying that's what she's saying.
yeah. So Misha has been quiet for the past 10 minutes, so I need to hear what she does.
No, I would not be able to last 5 minutes in nobody's pantyhose. I can't. I can't do the pantyhose. I'm sorry. I'm like Tori. I'm
Misha,
gonna have my
Misha,
shapewear
I be
on and I'm
like
gonna have
this.
my
Misha,
foundation on, but not doing
Misha,
no
you need
pantyhose.
new pantyhose.
No
New
pantyhose. I
pantyhose.
can't
I
do it.
get it.
No.
Tori, that's
I,
you. That's you with pantyhose.
That's
Oh,
you with pantyhose.
yeah.
just uncomfortable. Now,
Just
now I have to
uncomfortable.
ask this question because it's. I think Bug may have left. It's all us girls. Wait a minute. What you said, CC? I'm so short for the king dresses that overnight vertical challenge.
She said for the long dresses.
Long
She meant
dresses.
the
For the
long
long
dresses.
dresses, I got you. Long dresses.
Yeah.
I was at a king dresses, they long back in the day. But anyway, I have to ask y'all this. Have you ever taken off your girdle though? Like gone to the restaurant before you leave before you drive back home? Or while you in the car, baby. I done had a waist trainer on one time. I said, this is coming. I've done this at work too, though. When I left work, like this coming off right now.
Now for work, I have.
It's
Now
amazing that,
I've done that.
yeah. Like we women
I've
have to
done
go
that.
through so much. It seems like don't you think we do a lot?
Oh yeah.
We do.
We
Oh
do a
We
lot.
yeah.
do because I think that goes back to how you want to look modest and how you want
Oh
to look. You
yeah.
want to make sure your clothes fit you well, your clothes fit you appropriately. And then you want to feel nice in the dress or
Mm-hmm.
whatever you're wearing is a dress or pantsuit or however, you also want to feel nice.
Yeah.
So I think
Yeah.
that has a lot to do with it too.
Yeah. I like this comment by Elder Walker too, though. About the thigh highs.
Yeah, knee highs. Yes.
I
Yeah.
well, you got knee highs too for longer skirts and whatnot, but thigh
Yeah.
highs too. They do
Mhm.
keep you cool. I can agree with that. She said she takes hers right off too.
Yeah.
Right off after amen.
Yeah.
So here's my next question. So, are Christian women judged more harshly for their wardrobe choices? Because, and I'm asking this question because I've seen some men that's out of order to me. With sometimes now this just me. I'm just talking about my opinion. This is a fun opinionated night, ladies. We're having fun tonight. But I've seen men to me and their pants were just too tight. It
Mm.
just
Oh,
bothered me.
Jesus. Let the choir sing at this point. Oh, Lord.
Well, it's like they look like and they walk uncomfortable in them is what I'm trying to say.
Mhm.
And they're not young enough to be wearing them, if that makes sense.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
That
So
makes sense. And I think that when fashion changes, because at first men were not doing that, just for an example,
Yep.
I think as fashion changes, everybody feels they have to go along with what's fashionable. But
yeah,
at the same time, you have to make sure, same thing as we're talking, that it is appropriate and okay for what you're standing out doing. Like we
Mm-hmm.
like the fashion, we like the change and the trends of things too. But so based on what your question is, my answer would be yes, I do feel that women in the church are judged more harshly than the men are. I think it's like, oh my God, why would you have that on? And it could be a trend of something that fashionably that's out there, but
Yeah.
it's not for everybody. Like everybody can't wear sweater dresses.
right.
Everybody's body is not fit or style or shape, you can say, for to be able to wear like sweater dresses.
Yeah.
So you have to find what works for you,
Yeah.
and sometimes that's where it's the judgment comes. You say, well, what she have to, but I do think to answer your question, I would say yes, we
So,
are.
so maybe if I frame it this way too, because um, and I've heard people say this or a preacher say this once, like with the mini dresses or mini skirts and whatnot, they said back in the day y'all used to wear it when y'all were younger. So what I'm saying is like I can understand trends, but I think as we get older, there are just some things we shouldn't. And I used to tell my daughter this and friends too, like just because they make it don't mean you should wear it. That's not your license
True.
to wear it just because they make it. But I do think it's cool to keep up with the trends if you can make it look good on your body and you're looking modest. But I don't think everything is some things are age limit, like
Yeah.
some girls that are young and love God and all that kind of stuff, they can wear really cute little dresses and it's cute on them, because it ain't gonna be hiced up. Like if I wore it, it's hiced up, right? So so there are just certain things. Is like, even though like certain baby doll dresses that I think are super cute, I was like, I know I can't wear that because if I bend over, then that's not good, but you should squat as a lady anyway, though. You should squat.
Mm-hmm.
But the
Mm-hmm.
thing is, as you get older, it hurt a little bit more to get up.
Hold on to some. Hold on to that grab bar.
Let me see what here is. This is what supervisor, she said back in the day we were encouraged to wear clothing that was best for our body shape. Oh yeah. But yeah, seek to be modest and yeah, and all of it.
Hmm.
That's
Hmm.
good. That's
That's
good.
good. Yeah.
And I think that's what we should do. But I've seen older men that stay in the 60s and 70s. And then you also see some older men that are trying to do more of what the younger men are wearing. And it
Mhm.
just, it's not flattering really to
Yeah.
me. But nobody really, I'm not judging them, but it's like, it's just, they need what Rose said, they need a friend.
Need a friend. Gotta have a friend.
Yeah. But have
Yeah.
you ever, like, there's a mother who, bless her soul, she's gone on to be with the Lord, but she used to make a very wise statement. And with the plunging necklines that we have nowadays in our fashion. She said, if you are standing there and you can look down and you can see between the lines, or you can see the divide, she said, this is a little too low. And it was so simple, but it was a very surefire. But if you look down, that means you're too low. If we can see, if you can see the
Mm,
divide, where your bosoms are split. She was like, it's just a little, you may want to, correct that. And just thinking about, if we just had certain guidelines in place to help guide everybody, male, female, young, old, that might help across the table, because people go around and they feel like you're overstepping your bounds if you start telling them how they should dress. They
mm,
get very upset about that. And if us as a people, as the church, we can, I mean, you really, this is a great subject, because you can put it in any area, where people are feeling they're being talked about, judged, or
mhm.
misconveyed in a situation because of what you're looking at on the outside. And then they'll go, well, I'm more than that on the inside. I don't think like that. And I wasn't thinking that when I put this on. You go into, and it can turn into a fierce battle.
Yeah.
And that's what we don't want. You don't want it to turn into a fierce battle, but you do
Mm,
want people to be mindful of what we are here for. We're
yeah.
here to give God the glory. We're here to praise the Lord. We're here to represent him and give him praise. But we all have to get dressed, no matter where we're going. Even if we're just going to the corner store to get some gas, and we have to be mindful as much as we possibly can. Think about it. But the teaching is not there anymore. It used to be, but it's not there anymore. And I think that's because the world, the influences of the world, feeling like we're in the world but not of the world kind of thing. We're in it, but we want to fit in too much sometimes. Sometimes
Mhm.
we want to fit in with everybody at school, or we want to fit in with everybody at the store, everybody in the neighborhood. We want to fit in with what's on television. We want to fit in. We don't want to be so ostracized and put into a box. We want to feel like we can look as gorgeous and glamorous as the models, and we can look as good as the top people of the company. We want to look good. And it would be awesome, in my opinion, if we had a clothing line geared for professionals. In a sense, we have some that say professional, but they'll still have the plunger necklines and certain things in them. But if we had something geared towards men and women of God who wanted to represent God the best way that we could, and still be in fashion enough to feel good about ourselves and everything, because we tend to mix and match. We want to get one thing, like I get the jacket, but I'll just, I won't wear that skirt. It's a little too short. It's got that split. I don't want to do that, but I'll put that jacket on with it, and I'll wear my tank. And we end up mixing and matching things to get the look and create our own look. But it would be very great, very good if Shirley or somebody else, they made a clothing line that we all could go and feel safe purchasing, and we still could find slips. It's hard to find slips nowadays. By the way, it is not as easy as it used to be. We could go to Sears and get a half slip, a whole slip. But I have to try them thigh highs. I just saw on there, the knee highs. I was a knee high person, but we used to have to make sure our skirt line did not go above where the edge, you could see the edge of that knee high. So I'm gonna try the thigh highs, because that really sounds appealing. And just wanted to throw that in there. But maybe Shirley will start a clothing line, or somebody, so we'll have something to look forward to. But I think it would be good.
Yeah, she's Elder Walker said those slips are gonna cost you. And Shirley said if you're dressed up in the back, you finna, I don't know if you meant be not paying your tithes or something.
Uh-uh.
Or you,
Ooh.
oh yeah, the
Oh,
slips do cost. Now Burlington has them, and I think Dillard's and Macy's like that. They do have them.
Burlington. All
Um,
right.
hmm but they are going to cost you just like Spanx cost. It's an investment though, so that your undergarments are right. But I don't. You're right. I don't know. Everybody doesn't have mothers that really, everybody hasn't grown up in the church, and I think most of us have, had our, went to Sunday school and all of it. But I don't think that I don't think we have courageous conversations about what's appropriate, period, because even, I know when Jazzy, when she was like in college and stuff, even going to parties, and even after she graduated and she would go to some parties sometimes, I was like, I don't like that. That's too short, I would just say, and knowing she's young and all of that, but I still, so Misha, what do you think about that? Because I feel like we should just,
But
like,
that's just so
there we go.
ironic. You just said
Yeah.
that because
Ooh, yeah,
and
she was
I,
the same mom as me. I'm
I got
sorry.
to first make a correction last week when I was talking about my youngest daughters. I said 9 and 10, where they're 13 and 14. So I don't
Oh,
know where they chew me up alive when I got off this live last week. So, but my 14-year-old had their graduation from 8th grade last Monday. And we went back and forth about what she was going to wear. And I'm talking about back and forth, back and forth. It's too short. No, I don't like that. She was so upset. And I said, well, I put her in some long down to her ankles. But she had this really pretty white dress that she wanted to wear. But the way the dress, and my daughter's one of those young ladies where she didn't get a shape from me because I was a stick coming up. I'm talking about I probably weighed 60 pounds all through junior high school. But she's a little bit more filled out, but she's only 14. So I'm still trying to keep her innocence, as long as I can. So the dress she wanted to wear, it kind of came off the shoulders a little bit. And I said, no, baby, I no, we're not gonna wear that. And we went through it literally about 6 or 7 different outfit changes. Long story short, she must have pondered over it all night because I was set with what she was gonna wear. She got up the next morning about 7:30, came in the bedroom. Mom, I fixed it. See, you like it? And she had pulled the shoulders, the sleeves all the way up, and had tied something around to keep them holding up in place. And I'm tugging and trying to pull the dress down a little bit. So then my husband, a father, comes in there because when I pulled it down, I ripped it a little bit, and she was. Oh, you could just see the disappointment on her face. And her dad was like, oh, I'm gonna fix it. I'm gonna fix it, baby. I fixed it. So he did some work and he fixed it. And I gave her a jacket. I said, baby, put the jacket on and we just gonna go and roll with it. But I said all that to say that we have to teach them. But I guess her takeaway was, I'm not wearing this dress unless I get this dress right. So,
yeah.
but and that's all it was. It was just I didn't want her shoulders showing. I didn't think that was appropriate. But I
Yeah.
tell you, at that graduation, I saw so many girls that, and I was like, am I just too old school? Is it me? Or am I just trying to teach my baby, the foundations and the truths that were taught to me? So, like the scripture said, as for me and my house.
That's right.
We don't show shoulders.
Yeah, exactly. We ain't showing no shoulders.
Now I will show. I will. I do like those half things. So I mean, I show my shoulders, and after I had surgery on both of my arms, um, I remember like not not wanting to wear sleeveless anymore. Even though I love sleeveless dresses, and would buy scarves. Like I miss Charming Charlie's because I used to get every color scarf they had. Just loved it. Like I was there every Friday or every weekend seems like it because I wanted another scarf to go with sleeveless dresses. But And so, but I like wearing sleeveless dresses for the mere, because for a long time my mama didn't believe in that either. She didn't believe in that either. But but I wanted to, for me, my scars represented overcoming something. And so my armpits look complete. I had skin graft. It looks crazy. But for me, it's like, this is me. I went through something. So, but I do like those half shoulder things. And I'm not saying, like, when you go to a gala and you want to fancy it up and look all hot and fine for your husbands and stuff like that, then I think you should do that. I think you should always dress good for your husband. But I do know some men don't, they just believe in modesty too. And I'm gonna say this, there was this guy that I really admire, a young man in his 30s. But he said when he met his wife um somewhere, but he checked out her Instagram page before he even asked her out. He said, because there's so many girls that were out there, they just doing those weird poses, showing their body and exposing themselves. He said, and I didn't want nobody like that. He said, I wanted somebody that was covered. Because that let me know that I felt like, okay, she's probably trustworthy, that she's not out there with every Joe Blow. And so I thought that was very interesting coming from a young man, and I really, really appreciated that. So, what are y'all's, thoughts thoughts on that? Do young women know that a lot of good men prefer a modest looking woman, right? Oh, let's see. Let me read some of these comments while y'all think on that. LaWinter says, "You ladies are so right. I just had my fair share of dress choices for eighth prom and graduation." Ah, there are so many women that do not know how to be a lady. Being a lady starts within and then comes out. Yeah, and we have to do our best to be representations. It's the conversation, like Erica said. I know she has a program in her heart, and I think you do it though, don't you? Girls and Pearls, guys and ties. Well, anyway, she has something. But anyway, I think it definitely is something that's needed. Um, so anyway, in terms of having those conversations. But go ahead, y'all go ahead.
And what was your question again? Just say
Oh
that.
well, yeah. I mean, like, what do you think about that, men and what they really truly desire when they're
Oh, mhm. Yeah, I think so. I think the men, as quiet as it kept, maybe with them, a lot of them, I think they are concerned. They want to make sure that you represent, you have to make sure, like, I'll speak for myself. I know when I go outside the house, if I'm going to church, if I'm going to an event with Carrie, I want to make sure that he's proud to say, this is my
Yeah.
wife, like proud in every sense of the way, like this is my wife. And, or like, oh my God, baby, why do you have that on? He's never had to say that to me because I make sure that I'm presentable. I know what he likes. I know what he doesn't like. I know when I'm on a date night, what he likes. And I know what, how to, I can switch it up. I can be what you want me to be. What you want me to be? I can ask what you want me to be. You have to switch it up. So it just depends, where I'm going. Well, and I think you said earlier, Tori, what you may wear, I'm paraphrasing, what you may wear, like you said, the brunch may not be what I want to wear, to a church. What I wear for a date night, I may not want to wear to church.
Right.
So I think they do have their their own opinion, and they probably, in this day and time, looking at, I think when we were coming up in that era, there wasn't much Facebook. You want to see, they have a picture
Mhm.
of the person. But now, with Facebook, you have to be very careful. And I even tell my boys, be very careful about what you post. And then when they like somebody, I ask them the same thing. I want to see their Instagram. Let me see their Snapchat. I know I'm interested in seeing how she presents herself way before she met you.
Hmm. That's
Yeah. I have to agree with that, bro. My husband always say this to me. How that's gonna make me look on my job. So it's just being careful what they do. I often tell my daughter, leave it to the imagination. Why is all the back out? Why is all the front out? Yes, you know, nice frame and all of that, but just leave some for them to think what it looked like. Just give them a little, just you ain't got to show it all, because that's not what they, you know, if I see it all now, the chase is over with. So give them the opportunity to learn what's more important, and that's your intellect, your ability to hold a conversation, your ability to say that, talk to me about my growth in Christ, instead of, you know, what you're seeing in front of you. If it's all out in the open, I think men still desire that. You know, society now has us to believe that, you know, we got to be, you know, thin here, big here, and the BBLs are just gotten out of hand. To be honest with you, I feel like it's just like you creating this plastic person for who, you know, when you're not really thinking about your health or just your body. Choose right eating habits or whatever that may be, or just be comfortable in your skin. Love who you are is, you know, what I often say. And I have to agree with you, bro. You know, just we put too, first of all, we do put too much out on social media, but it's just like, if that's what you're seeing, that's what you're gonna get. That's exactly what you're going to get. You know, I admire my husband doing this. One of the things he will tell, he has excuse me, has told all of our children, is to make them read. And it's just to see, I mean, is this someone that, is it the person you want to talk with? Can they read? Can they hold a decent conversation? Because it's nothing like talking to someone that just doesn't, can't hold a
I love
conversation
that.
with you. Huh?
Yeah. I said, I love that. Make them read that. Yeah.
Yeah,
You want
make
to
them
be able to
read. I mean,
see a
it's
sense of
important.
intelligence as
Yeah.
well. So yeah, that's good. That's
Yeah.
good.
And I'll say this is just that, you know, I don't know where we have gotten lost with our appearance. Today I had an evening meeting, and I was off of Major Street here in Memphis, off of Poplar. You know, Poplar is just Poplar, y'all. Ugh, just messy. But it was three young ladies walking down the street. Yes, it's pretty warm outside today. We got a mild dose of what summer is going to be like. But
Hmm.
they had, this is right at 5 o'clock traffic, and they had hair bonnets on and t-shirts and shorts, maybe like their night shorts on. And it's just like, you're on this major corridor, and it's just like you have no desire to, like, you just walked out the house with your hair bonnet on and all of this other stuff. And it saddened me. You
Hmm.
know, my colleagues were, you know, was a little stunned and had words, and I just turned my head, because it's just like, I just can't, I don't want to see beautiful women expose themselves or classify themselves. And it's just like, I wish that, you know, they would embrace someone coming to them and saying something to them. You know, oftentimes you got to be careful what you say to people, even when your heart is in a good place.
True.
You know, right now we're so very quick to do things that become harmful, or even take someone's life, when it was just really in a space of just reminding you who you are and whose you are. So it's really hurtful to me, you know, that it was just too much. Yeah, 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 yeah,
Back in the day, we could say things out of love and we could give
yeah.
correction, and it was no issue at all. But nowadays, you know, you just have to be careful, because it's a new generation out here now. But you're
Mm-hmm.
right, it is sad, and it's an inner issue, you know. Um, it's about self-respect and knowing your self-worth and knowing that you are valuable and you're
Yeah,
more than your body. You're more than your body. Like you just said earlier, I have an intellect, you know, I have a heart, I have a spirit, I have goals, yeah, you know, I have dreams, I have, you know, get to know that part of me, that part, you
right,
know, it's
right.
just so unfortunate. But we just have to keep leading as the Spirit leads us to give a word when we need to give a word, and do it in love. so that they don't feel condemned or shamed or want to turn away or leave the church, because that happens a lot too. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, well, this has been a great conversation. I do feel like I hear a consensus that there really is a need. Erica talked about a clothing line, and Misha, what you just said, and Tori, but it's like there could be opportunity for us, as Misha said, to keep imparting knowledge and wisdom and giving sound advice, and but also a physical opportunity where we may host something for young women,
Mm-hmm.
girls and young women, and we'll have people like Shirley Papina to come and speak. I mean, people like that people can admire and look up to, and that's, I know she's been an amazing example for a lot of young women, and women period, older women too. Um I'm thinking, as my wheels are always turning, but they're really turning now. And so to do something really helpful, to do this. It is a job, to say it is. Um, and yes, Sharon, I agree. Girls do have to be taught, and like I said, everybody doesn't have what we all may have had in terms of upbringing, and so we want to be a light. That's part of being a city. And Second Corinthians 5:20
Mm.
tells us that we're our Christ ambassadors, and we just have to always remember that wherever we go. So to represent him well. So anyway, thank you all so much. I didn't get to the final question, but ladies, thank you all so much for participating in the comments. I really appreciate you doing that and being with us tonight. I do ask that if you haven't, make sure you at the end of this show, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Go to our YouTube channel at Sister Story Sessions and subscribe. Um, it really helps us. That's one way you can really help us, if you just like and share. That really helps us. So thank you so much. As we want to continue to do this work and have fun. Thank you, Karen. She said it was a great conversation. Cece, thank you so much. LaWinter, thank you. Elder Walker, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. Um, and Supervisor, we appreciate it. Yeah, CC, you have just really tickled us tonight. So thank you all so much. All of those whose names we don't even see, thank you for watching, and we will catch you next time. We'll be back live on. You're gonna catch a replay next week, but we will be live the first Monday in June. So y'all have a wonderful Memorial Day weekend, and love y'all. Love you. Love you. You have a good night. Bye bye.
All right. Bye.